Hey year one, this is your prep instructor, Ashley Bettis, Miss Bettis or Miss Ashley. I'm here with week five's Automata project. The Caterpillar Automata. So as you can see here, I have my finished product. And what it is a machine pretty much made out of cardboard. And so you get a piece of cardboard like I have. You can use a shoebox, but I had just recently ordered something online through Amazon, of course. Actually, this one's from Target, but those boxes are really good to use for the foundation, I guess, of the Caterpillar Automata machine. So what we are doing here is you're getting your box and you're creating a machine so that when you rotate this axle, in mine I'm not all the way done, and I'll talk about why I'm not all the way done a little bit further into the video. But once you rotate this, it'll make the caterpillar pieces go up and down. It'll make the caterpillar pieces go up and down. Oops, wrong way. Like if it was slithering across the leaf, right? So the head will go up, this one goes down, this one stays up, this one goes down. And it'll be like, doom, doom, like a wave. And that's the end product of this. We chose this product this time around because we know you made a balloon racer last time, and we kind of wanted to tie in this idea of engineering, the process that you go through it, struggles that you might have during the process, like why isn't my car moving? What can I do to make it move? What can I do to make it faster? I watched y'all's videos. They are amazing. I love them all. They're super inventive. I like how you guys designed them as well. And I just wanted to let you guys know that we are watching your videos. So with that idea of the balloon car racer, we wanted to take it a step further. Now this project, when you read about it, the instructions that we give you and the steps that we give you, it's super intricate and it can be a little confusing, but do not give up, because if you take it step by step and work on it, then you will get your end results that you want. Don't give up, right? And this is, like I said, this is the next level of the balloon racer. It's a lot more intricate. It's a lot more, takes a lot more time. It'll take about 1 to 2 hours, but honestly, I split that up. I would do some parts of it, like the first steps, and then I'd take a break and come back to it. So that's why it's good that you guys have a week to do this, and we might give you a little bit longer into next week just to finish it off, the little touch details, because you might need to go back and see, especially with this project, if it doesn't work the first time around, you might have to reevaluate what you're doing, what you've done, and what you can do to make it work. So that's actually at the step that I am at. And I want you guys to know that, again, it's a really fun project. I've had nothing but fun doing this. You have these materials at home. If you don't, you can use cereal boxes or other bigger pieces of cardboard and just glue them together to make the box that you need, because the skewer that you're going to have needs to stick out on both sides at least anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Okay, so yeah, just make sure that you find a box that and you're measuring it against your skewer. Hopefully you have these materials at home. If not, you might have to go out and get some of them. This was a toilet paper roll. This is just a regular box. This is paper, scratch paper I had at the house. If you don't have this kind of paper, that's perfectly fine. I do recommend cardstock for the body of the caterpillar because it's sturdier. But if you don't have cardstock, you can definitely use regular paper and decorate it the color that you. Hey guys, so I went ahead and put in some videos that describes the process I went through. These videos you're about to watch, they're later on steps. So the beginning steps that I did it on my own because they're pretty easy, but the videos that I started recording, I knew they were going to be a little bit more challenging. So it's basically putting together the whole automata, right? Putting all the pieces together. And that's when I started recording my process. So in the videos that you will see, you will find some tips and things that I did to get through some hard, challenging areas that I found as I was putting it together. Okay, hope y'all enjoy. Guys, I just wanted to show you a little bit of the process. I've actually done a lot of the work before so that I can show you how I'm putting it together. So I wanted to stop here. I wanted to stop myself here because I needed to give y'all some pointers. I'm at the point in the process where I just made the holes on top, the 5 aligning holes, and what they want you to do is align the holes with the middle of the axle, each one. So I haven't fixed that yet, but I will. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the holes on the top. When you're making the holes, it's really hard to puncture them through the 2 pieces of the cardboard that you're having to do, right? So you have your 2 pieces of cardboard, and the instructions tell you to align it to the top like this and pierce it through. But because I don't have a needle or a compass, I used a skewer and it's harder. So what I did was I just pulled this down for right now, and I did the puncturing at the top, you know, like you would regularly. And it's a lot easier to do it through 1 piece of cardboard than to do it to 2, right? So I did mine first, and then I went back and put that extra piece of cardboard up against the top. And then with the holes that I had already created, I created the punctures with my skewer through the second piece, right? And so I was able to make the holes aligned still on both the top and this other little middle piece by doing that in separate steps and not the way they had showed me. Again, I don't have a needle. I don't have a compass needle. I just had these skewers, and through the whole making of my automata, I used the skewers. So if you look at how these are punctured in my axle, the wheels or the holes in the axles pieces, that was done with the skewer as well. Every kind of puncture where it says use the needle or compass needle, because I didn't have one, I noticed that my skewer was more than sharp enough, and also when I punctured it, it did not break it. It kept it whole. Now if you get skewers or have skewers, of course you're gonna have many of them, so if it does break, you know, that's not a big deal. But yeah, this is where I'm at so far. I got my little caterpillar over here. I'm gonna start putting the whole thing together. And so these are pretty much the last steps of my automata. I'm gonna get the beads right now. I decided to decorate the top of my automata like this. I haven't decorated the sides, but I think at the end I probably will. So I'll go ahead and keep y'all posted with my process. Right now I'm moving on to aligning these wheels here with the holes on the top because they need to be exactly aligned, right? Oh, one last thing. When it tells you to put the straws in these holes, when you pierce it, again, I don't have the needle or compass, but when I pierced the hole on the side of the cardboard with my skewer, and then I tried to put the straw in, obviously the straw is much thicker than the diameter of the skewer. So what I had to do was, after I punctured it with the skewer, I went and took the tip of my pencil that I had been using to do all the markings, and I shoved it in the skewer's hole, and I rotated it, And I did it slowly. I didn't want to shove, so I didn't put the whole pencil in, like not all the way over here. I shoved it into about maybe right here, and I kept doing it slowly because I didn't want the straw to be too loose in the hole. I didn't want to make the hole too big. So that's a way to make your hole bigger, is because the tip of a pencil is cylindrical and it also tapers, which means it gets bigger or smaller rather as it goes. It's a great instrument to slowly make a hole bigger. And so that's what I did for this hole. I ended up just widening the hole with the tip of the pencil. Again, be slow with that process. You don't want it too big, because then if it's too big, obviously the straw is just going to want to fall out. Even though you're gluing it, you know, it's just better to have something real nice and snug in there. So that's how I did that process. Oh yeah, and one last thing I wanted to mention to you guys is that I had trouble finding paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls, and I didn't know how many I was gonna need. Ends up, one toilet paper roll is good enough. So if you have one toilet paper roll, you can cut them 3/4 inches and you get the whole caterpillar. And so this down here for the axle, this is just one toilet paper roll. So I had this extra one left over. And for the caterpillar, I ended up just using this cardstock paper that I had left over, and that's all. I didn't even use it. This is all just paper on the inside, and I glued it to the, you can't see because I decorated it, but there are the cardboard pieces underneath, and then I just put more cardstock on top. So my caterpillar is going to be these colors. And that's just made out of the cardboard circles and the paper cardstock. And this is just made out of the cardboard circles right here and the toilet paper rolls. Okay. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit when I put this together, and it should be cool. Guys, all right, so at the step where you're putting the skewers in, and you're gonna need total skewers for this whole project. You're gonna need 5 for the driving mechanism, one for the axle, and then I had an extra one to be poking the holes because it gets kind of bent and dull. So 7 total for the whole project. As you can see, I'm poking the skewers through so that they can touch the cylinders at the bottom, and this is a great time to make sure that your cylinders are aligned with the hole. So as you can see here, I'm poking it through, and it looks to be good in the middle there. I'm going to poke this one through as well. Got it in the middle. Poke it through. It's kind of off to the side. I'll fix that in a bit. And then my last one. Ooh, what's going on right here? Oh, there we go. And this one, which looks like it to be in the middle. All right, so for the most part, they're all good to go. The instructions say that once you have this step, that you're going to trim these top parts down about 2 inches above the top for the most, or is it the least? Determine how long they will need to be looking, how long they need to be by looking at the one that sinks in the least. So that would be this one, or if I were to turn it upside down, it would be one of these on the side. Mark that square at least 2 inches above. You just want to make sure, honestly, that they're all the same size. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. Stay tuned. So I am cutting the skewers for the box, and I've measured them all out to be the same length, and that was from the smallest mechanism, or the least, let's see, yeah, gonna have to probably make those holes a little bigger because they need to slide better. Anyways, I cut the skewers because it told me to measure. If it's at the top right here, if it's touching and this is the least amount that it went in, you wouldn't want to measure from this one or this one, just this middle one that's the highest. 2 inches out, and so that's what I did, 2 inches out, right? And so when I took this one out, because this was the size that all the other ones needed to be, I started measuring them, right? And so they're all going to be the same height. Now I noticed that when I started cutting them, it was really hard with my scissors, and there's no way to cut through a whole skewer just with scissors alone. So, but what I found out that I could do is that I could, for the most part, let me see if I could do this, make an indentation. Like, try to cut it, you know, so you're cutting it as much as you can, you're making that little mark in it, right? And you're like really trying to cut it, it's gonna make a mark in it, and the mark will be strong enough to do that when there's like a good little gash inside this wooden skewer. I didn't do mine very strong, but I'll do it again right now. You could just break it in half with your hand, and it'll be on the exact line that you made, and it won't. So as you can see, I did that with these 3 because it's impossible. So you'll see little splinters hanging off the side, but that's fine because for the most part, they're all the same length. And so that's an easy way of cutting your skewers. Again, you don't have to cut through the whole skewer. Just really make a really nice gash where the line has to be, where you need to cut it, right? A really nice gash, deep enough, maybe that you can see. I'll show you right now, and then you just break it the rest of the way. So let me do that right now. Better, and I just really rotated it around. As you can see that it's dented in. This should be good enough. And then once I broke it with my fingers, I just snapped it in half. It fell right on the line that it needed to be. See? And now I have 4 so far, and I'm gonna do the last one right now with the line that I made. Where is it? Over here on this side, right there. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that up with the scissors and then break it the rest of the way. Just finished the part where you glue on the beads. As you can see, I tried the first time to put the glue on the stick and then put the bead, and the glue fell right to the bottom, right? So then I was like, okay, that's not gonna work. What I ended up doing is getting the bead, and I filled the hole with the hot glue, right? I filled the bead with the hot glue, the hole, and then I slowly stuck it in. And I made sure to try and make them even, so I pushed it all the way through where the tip was. Let me see if you can see. The tip should be pretty much almost at the end. I don't know if you can really see that, but I tried to make them, you know, stop at the same spots. And so, yeah, I got my caterpillar on top, my beads on bottom, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put the axle back in and see how this thing turns out. Stay tuned. All right, so axle's in, and I put my bead at the end so that I measured and made sure that whenever this bead is fully in, each cylinder should be in the middle, or the bead should be in the middle of each cylinder. So some of them are a little bit off. That's okay, I can fix it. But what I really wanted to show you guys is that I haven't glued down my cylinders yet, and the instructions say that to try it out and see how they move. Well, as you can see, mine is not doing anything. So I've thought about it, and naturally as an engineer, and if they made this project, it should work, you know? So now I'm having to go back and reevaluate what it is that's making it not work, right? I don't really want to give you guys the answers, but I do want to talk you through my thought process. So when I'm rotating this axle, and And this one right here is not moving, right? In fact, the bead is pushing it to stay that way. Well, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's because I haven't glued this down. That's fine, because I'm going to do that later. Another issue that I was having was that my skewers, I've already fixed most of them, but they were too tight. Like this one, the caterpillar head, look, I can't even pick it up. I'll pick up the whole box, right? And that means it's too tight. And every other skewer should be able to move freely. Now, I had already put these skewers in, and I glued the beads to the bottom, so I'm like, how am I going to make that hole bigger? Well, basically what I did was I took a skewer, you know, that was already in, and I started rotating it like this, making sure not to break it off from the caterpillar body and not to break the actual skewer, but I did it on this side. I rotated it to make the hole bigger, and then I did it on the other side down here. I got it, and I started rotating it in the hole to make it bigger using this kind of motion, right? Not just like this. This is not going to make the hole bigger. You have to really widen the angle and widen the hole with the skewer. So I did that for 4 of the bodies, pieces of the caterpillar bodies. And this last one right here I haven't done, but I'm going to do it right now. And that's a little bit of my thought process. Another thing I noticed is that my cylinders, because I was really messy in my gluing, got on the cylinder surface right here. Especially this one down here. Let me see if I can see now. My cylinder bodies are nice and loose. But this cylinder right here, tons of glue, and how do I expect my bead to slide smoothly on this cylinder when there's all these bumps? So I'm gonna have to figure out something that's going to make this surface smoother. I already have an idea, but I don't want to really tell you guys because I want you guys to try and figure this out on your own, because that's part of the engineering process, right? You make something, it's not going to work. Well, you don't just stop there. You go back and you keep working at it till it works. Okay, so this is my struggle right now. I'm probably going to post the video as is, and then a little bit later in the week I'm going to come back and show you guys what I did, what little alterations I did to my caterpillar to make it work, just to help you guys if y'all hadn't figured it out yet. But I do want you guys to know that, again, the engineering process, and as an engineer, you're going to come into issues that are going to hold you back. Does that mean you're going to stop? No, it does not. It means that you're going to figure out how to make it work. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to go back and reevaluate what I've done, what's really causing the mechanism not to work, and then I'm going to fix it with only the materials that I have, right? So more of this paper, glue has been my best friend, scissors, you know, we'll see what we can do. So this is it for right now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more later on in the week, okay? All right, so that pretty much sums it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Don't forget, of course, I will be posting another video a little bit on in the week to show you guys how I fixed my Automata because it wasn't quite working the way I wanted to. I'm doing this specifically because I want you guys to try your best to fix whatever might be wrong with your Automata that's not making it work so that it can work. Now, I showed you the things that were getting caught up on mine. I'm gonna be working on it, and I'm gonna post the video maybe Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. I just want to give you guys enough time to kind of try and figure it out on your own before I can give you those answers how to make it work, right? Because that's the engineer in you and me and everybody who thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you guys enjoy this project. Again, super fun. Don't give up. I know y'all can do this.